All right, we're going to talk about something really complex today, something that affects so many of us, trauma. We're going to go on a journey to understand what it is, how it literally reshapes our minds and our bodies, and why the past can feel so incredibly present for anyone who's lived through it.
So let me start with a story. Those were the words of Bill, a Vietnam veteran. Now, you might think he's just recalling a memory, right? But he wasn't. 10 years after the war, sitting in a quiet room, Bill was just looking at a simple ink blot test. And for him, in that moment, the past was not the past. He was right back there, panting, sweating, reliving that horror like it was happening all over again.
Bill's experience, well, it shows us exactly how trauma can trap someone, forcing them to relive these moments that should be long, long gone. And that brings us to this central question, doesn't it? Why? What is actually going on inside of us that makes the past feel more real than the here and now? To get to that answer, we've got to look at how trauma completely reorganizes our inner world. You see, trauma is so much more than just a bad memory. It's a constant, full-body state of being. It's the horror replaying in nightmares and flashbacks. It's that feeling of being totally cut off from the people you love. It's losing the ability to even imagine a happy future. And all the while, your body is stuck on high alert, creating this deep, awful shame that can feel that you've lost the very core of who you are. But here's the thing, these overwhelming feelings, they're not just in your head. They have a clear biological cause. So let's pull back the curtain and see how trauma actually rewires the brain's alarm system. It really all starts with what we call our emotional brain. Think of it as our internal command center for survival. Its only job, its entire purpose is to look out for us. When it spots danger, boom, it floods our system with hormones that create physical sensations, getting our bodies ready to act, to survive.
The best way to think about this system is like this. You've got a smoke detector and a watchtower. The smoke detector, that's your amygdala, is always scanning for threats. It's super sensitive and incredibly fast. The watchtower, your medial prefrontal cortex, is the rational part. It's the part that looks at the situation and says, whoa, hold on, that's not a fire, it's just burnt toast, we're safe, stand down. In a healthy brain, these two work together in perfect harmony.
But trauma throws this system completely out of whack. The smoke detector becomes hypersensitive, basically screaming fire at the smallest thing. And meanwhile, the watchtower, it goes offline. That calm, rational voice that's supposed to say you're safe now is completely silenced. The result? The alarm is always on. The body is stuck in a constant state of emergency.
And, get this, brain scans of people having a flashback reveal something else, something absolutely profound. Another part of the brain shuts down completely. It's called Broca's area. It's our speech center. This is the actual science behind what people call speechless terror. When the trauma is being re-experienced, the ability to put any of it into words, it literally disappears.
You know, centuries before we had any of this brain scanning technology, Shakespeare nailed it. When Macbeth sees the murdered king, he can't describe it. The horror is literally beyond words. It just goes to show you that all trauma, at its very core, is pre-verbal. It's an experience that hits the body long before the mind has a chance to form a story around it. And that's because trauma doesn't just happen in the brain, not at all. It is an event that is held throughout the entire body. It's where these invisible wounds become very real physical problems. The landmark ACE study showed us just how deep these wounds go. Okay, brace yourself for this number. It found that an adult who experienced 6 or more adverse events in their childhood is 4,600% more likely to become an IV drug user. Let that sink in. This isn't about a lack of willpower. This is about a body trying desperately, with whatever it can find, to quiet an internal alarm that never, ever shuts off. And this is why, for so many, the body itself can become a source of fear. The past isn't some distant memory. It's a living, breathing sensation of gnawing discomfort on the inside. Normal body signals, like a racing heart, are no longer just feelings. They become terrifying proof that the danger is back, right now. The physical toll just cascades. You've got constantly elevated stress hormones wearing the body down. To cope, a person might learn to just numb out, to ignore their own gut feelings. And all this creates a state of chronic discomfort that can lead to this terrible, vicious cycle, a fear of the fear itself, where any internal sensation feels like a new threat.
Okay, I know that all sounds incredibly heavy, but it is so crucial to understand this. Trauma is an injury, and just like any injury, it can heal. It is not a life sentence. And modern science has opened up so many new possibilities for recovery.
Healing generally follows three main pathways. First, there's what's called top-down, which is the talking cure, using our rational mind to process what happened. Second, there's medicine and technology, which can help literally turn down the volume on that overactive alarm system. And third, there's the bottom-up approach, using the body to heal the mind through experiences that directly contradict the helplessness that trauma creates. So at the end of the day, recovery isn't just about making the past go away. The real challenge and the real goal is to reestablish ownership of yourself. It means feeling free to know what you know and feel what you feel without being completely overwhelmed by it. It's about learning to feel safe in your own skin, right here in this moment. Because true healing isn't just about looking backward at what happened. It's about learning to be fully and completely alive in the present. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What helps you feel alive right now?